feel like this is doable. I feel like I can stick to this. But let's not talk about this TBR video if I don't end up sticking to this. Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jesse, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 books that I want to read before the end of the year. I've been seeing a lot of people share their 10 before the end book list. 10 books that they want to read before the end of the year, and I am just not the type of person that can make a TBR that big and stick to it, so I'm going with 5 books. Truthfully, I should not be making any kind of TBR, but I've been getting a little better at sticking to TBRs, so I'm going to take a whack at it and share with you 5 books that I want to read before the end of the year. Before we get to it though, today's video has a sponsor. Today's video is being sponsored by Bookfinity. I've talked about them a lot, but we're in a relationship, we're going steady, and you can't break us up. If you're looking for new books that will be right up your alley, book recs that are very curated to fit your reader type, and have you finding new favorite books, which who doesn't want to find a new favorite book? Who? Don't we all want that? Bookfinity is the perfect place to find just that. Books that will fully encompass your reader type. Why am I doing this with my hands? I've talked about Bookfinity several times in the past, but if you don't know anything about them, let me fill you in. It's a great platform to learn about the reader type that you are and find books that suit your reading taste, reading needs, reading desires. The more that you know about the type of reader that you are, the type of books that you lean towards, the easier it is to find books that fit your type. And with Bookfinity, it makes it really easy in finding books that fit your vibe, fit your reading type, fit your reading style, because of the fact that their book recommendations are curated to the specific type of reader that you are. Bookfinity will have you take a quiz that is a series of questions about who you are as a person, and through the quiz you will learn your reader type, which is my favorite thing about Bookfinity. I love quizzes that are not educational, but like personality quizzes, reader quizzes. Sign me up. I'm here. I'm ready. Baby, let the games begin. The quiz will ask you a series of questions like, judge a book by its cover. If you had a vacation home, where would it be? What's your perfect Friday night? It's basically a personality quiz, so you're getting asked a bunch of questions about you as a person. Once you've taken the quiz, it will give you 3 different reader types, so it will give you the one that you were most like, and it will give you 2 other ones that you were similar to. Reader types like leading lady, self-starter, bookworm, world traveler, amongst many other different reader types. I've gotten subject matter in the past, and then I've gotten young at heart in the past as well, and both fit me perfectly at the time that I took the quiz. It's a great way to learn more about the type of reader that you are, and then take that information and find books that are suited to that reader type. I'm going to leave a link down below in the description to the quiz. Be sure to go and take it, and then come back and tell me what your results were down below in the comments. What type of reader are you? I want to hear from you. I've selected my 5 books that I will for sure be reading before the end of the year, though let's be clear here, I would love to read way more than just 5 books. Like, please let me be able to read 25 books before the end of the year. Please! Though I have already hit my Goodreads goal this year, I would still love to read way more books. Let's talk about my 5 book picks. The first book on my list is one that I'm sure all of you are familiar with. If you're not familiar with, how heavy is that rock you've been living under? You need to build some muscle, push that rock off, and read this book. It's a book that I don't shut up about. It lives rent-free in my mind. I think about it often. I think about it a few times a week, and that book is The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. I have been meaning to reread this book for the longest time, but I always have the hardest time prioritizing rereads in general just because I have so many new books that I haven't read, and so it's hard to take time away from those new books that I get in order to prioritize a reread. But every time I reread a book that I love in particular, I never regret it. It's always the best time. It's always worth my time. So I am going to be prioritizing a reread of The Lightning Thief. The big reason that I am prioritizing a reread for this book is because the series is coming out, and when I watched the trailer, while a lot of it was familiar and I could remember a lot of things, there were still some things that I was like, ooh, I'm not really remembering that. I do not recall that. I feel like that's a little hazy to me, and so I feel like it's really important for me to reread this book before I watch the series, especially because I do plan on doing like reaction videos or review videos to each episode, and I want the story to be fresh on my mind so that I'm able to like make solid comparisons instead of being like, I vaguely remember that being in the book. I want to be like, I remember that being in the book. Boom, boom, boom. That was so aggressive. Ideally, I would reread the entire Percy Jackson series before the series drops on December 20th, but December 20th is near, and I don't feel like I have it in me to commit to an entire series before the show comes out. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not entirely sure how many books season 1 encompasses, but I imagine it's just book 1. It might be book 2 as well, though. I need to do some research, clearly. I think I'm going to vlog rereading this book because I feel like something that's so fun about reading the Percy Jackson series is the community around Percy Jackson and all the excitement. And I would love to like share in on that excitement with you guys. So look forward to that. The next book on my list is one that I'm sure all of you are familiar with. If you're not familiar with, How Heavy Is That Rock You've Been Living Under? You Need to Build Some Muscle, Push That Rock Off, and Read This Book. It's a book that I love a lot, and I would love to like share in on that excitement with you guys. So look forward to that. It's also been a very long time since I first read this series. When did I first read it? Where's my phone? I'm gonna look up when I first posted my Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief review. That will tell me when I first read it. I cannot watch back my reviews of the series because I cringe at myself. I'm a much different person these days, so I'm still a little chaotic. Yeah, that was 8 years ago. It's been 8 years since I've read this series, so it's time for a reread. I'm super excited to see how I feel about it now that it's been 8 years. Will I feel the same? Will I feel differently? Stay tuned. Let's find out. The next book on my list is one that I'm a little bit nervous about just because it's been receiving a lot of buzz, a lot of hype lately, and that just always concerns me because I feel like my expectations just grow higher and higher and higher, and there's always the fear that I'm going to get into it and I'm not going to like it or I'm going to be underwhelmed by it. And I personally do not enjoy being the person with the unpopular opinion. And I personally do not enjoy being the oddball in the hype party. I want to be a part of the party. I want to be a part of the party hype. I don't want to be the one that has to come in and be like, boo, this sucks, but that could be the case. Anyway, long intro for this book. The book in question is A Study in Drowning. I've seen a lot of people raving about this book, specifically on my For You page all over TikTok, and not just random people raving about it, but people that I really enjoy their content, people who I feel like have similar tastes to me have been raving about it. So I'm going into it with the expectations that there's a possibility that I will love it. So another reason that I'm nervous for this book, why am I so nervous? It has a really fantastic description, and I feel like a lot of books that I've read over the past few years, like they've had these like amazing concepts brought up in the descriptions, and then like they're not able to like execute the concept within the actual book. And it's like, that's where we should be executing the concept. If you're gonna have an amazing sounding concept within the description, you gotta come out swinging within the book itself. And a lot of books have not come out swinging. They've not been slaying. They've not been delivering. They've been drowning in nonsense. In this book, we have this girl who loves fairy tales, and she in particular is obsessed with this one author and his works, and she gets the opportunity to potentially go and work on his estate, but she does not realize how much work it's going to be until she gets to the author's house and sees that like it's basically crumbling into the ocean, but she's determined to make this work. And somebody that she is going up against does not really like the author in question. In fact, they're doing everything that they can to prove the fact that this author is a fraud. And obviously that like pisses off our main character. She's like, oh hell nah, you are not coming in here and spitting in my favorite author's name. No, no, no. So we have a little bit of a rival situation. The two begin investigating different things within the author's house, and they are piecing together all these things from letters to diary entries to different books, and they're realizing that the house is not the only thing that is unstable. There's a lot that this author kept under wraps, and they are unwrapping it, and what they unwrap could be really dark. The description just sounds so fantastic. Like, I'm so excited to dive into this one. I believe this is YA too, and I've just not been having the best of luck with YA in recent years. I feel like I've been dabbling into other age groups. I've been reading a lot of adult books, I've been reading a lot of middle grade books, and YA has just not been hitting the same lately, but this book in particular sounds like it could hit different, and that's why I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the fact that there being a YA book out there that's a bit of a banger, because I've been missing some YA bangers in my life. So please come through and be a banger. That's all I ask of you. Drown me in your greatness, please. If any of you guys have read this book, let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments. Obviously don't spoil anything, but let me know if you feel like it hits different, because that's what I need. I need it to hit different. Or if you just have any recommendations for YA books that hit different, drop me a rec in the comments. The next book I have here is one that I've not heard anybody talk about, which also really excites me. I feel like sometimes it's nice to just read a book that's underhyped, underrated, or a book that you've never even heard of before. This one I stumbled across on Goodreads one day when I was just browsing books, and I was like, interest has been piqued, and that book is At the Coffee Shop of Curiosities. The description of this one is a little bit on the vague side, but there were aspects to it that just like had me intrigued. It's a little bit magical, it feels rather cozy, and it also has like weaving storylines, which is something that I really enjoy in a book, depending on how it's done. If it's executed well, it can be fantastic. If not, it can be a bit of a bummer. In this book, we are following two girls. The first one that we are following is Ava, and her ex-boyfriend has tragically died, and she ends up getting a letter in the mail with a job offer, and she's like, this is coming at the perfect time, and it feels weird that it's coming at the perfect time, but I'm gonna take this opportunity and I'm gonna flee where I'm currently living, go to a different place. And she ends up taking care of this old man and his grumpy cat, but she sees it as a way to like escape the situation and find closure and find healing in being away from this place where this tragic death happened. Then we follow Maggie, who is working at this coffee shop, which, let me read this line because it describes it well. It's Magpie's Driftwood's Coffee and Curiosity Shop, where there's magic to be found in pairing the old old with the new. Maggie is like obsessed with working. She likes to stay busy. She likes to keep her mind busy. And she's the type of person that comes off as like doing really well. She's really happy. She's really satisfied in her life. But like under the surface, she's dealing with like depression surrounding her mother's passing and trying to recover from losing her mom. And throughout the story, this almost makes me emotional. Oh my gosh. Ava and Maggie end up meeting, and they're both united by being haunted, not by spirits, but by the past, by regret. And together they must learn to accept what happened and kind of move on with their life. Obviously not forget the past and not entirely let go of it, but be able to like find themselves in a better place. And I just, the concept of this one just sounds amazing. I love stories of like people going through tragic events and then like finding comfort in talking about it and coming together, and I feel like there's something so powerful. I don't know if it's like a romantic relationship that ends up happening between the two, or if it's just like a friendship, but regardless, the fact that they're able to like come together and connect over tragedies that have happened to them, there's something so wholesome and sweet about that, and I'm so excited to see that on the page being unraveled. And I know that there is like hints of magic in this story, so I'm excited to see, well, at least I assume there's hints of magic. I could be wrong about there being magic in this book. There might not be any magic at all, which will be okay. There might just be the magic of friendship, which is a magic that I am willing to accept and embrace. I'm super excited about this one. I feel like it's just going to be like a very cozy, calm story with a lot of heart, and that has me really excited. The next book is from an author who is responsible for my childhood, and that book is Poison for Breakfast by Lemony Snicket. If you know anything about Lemony Snicket's writing style, it is full of snark, and I have been craving that snark. No other author writes in the style of Lemony Snicket, and that's okay because obviously it's like Lemony Snicket's thing. It's his shtick. And let me just say, the concept for this book sounds ridiculous, which is right up Lemony Snicket's alley. His books are filled with ridiculousness. Greatness, but ridiculousness. If I understand correctly, we are following Lemony Snicket himself, and he eats breakfast, and then a letter slides under the door, and he picks it up, and it says, "You have been poisoned." And throughout the book, we are following Lemony Snicket trying to uncover this mystery as he's just been poisoned and like on the verge of dying or something like that. Like that's what I'm pretty sure is what is going to happen in this book. Obviously I haven't read it, I don't fully know, but that's what I gather from the description. And like, that just sounds so ridiculous, but also like one of those situations where like the stakes are very high. Why are you not running to the hospital? Why are you trying to uncover this mystery as you're being poisoned? Unless he goes to the hospital first, gets cured, and then begins unraveling the mystery. But like, this is a Lemony Snicket book, so like he probably doesn't run to the hospital. He's probably like, oh, I'll figure out who poisoned me before I end up dying. I'm so excited about this. It's been a long time since I read a Lemony Snicket book, and we've had books by, well, I'm about to ruin some of your childhoods, but like if you didn't know, Lemony Snicket is a pen name for Daniel Handler. Sorry if I just ruined your childhood, but Daniel Handler has written a lot of adult books and a lot of YA books, but we've only had Lemony Snicket books that are either middle grade or are children's books, like children picture books. And this will be the first time that we have a YA Lemony Snicket book, which has me really excited. At least I think it's YA. It's also a very short and sweet book, so it should be a breeze to get through. The last book is one that I feel like a lot of you are already very familiar with. A lot of you have probably already read this book, and I am very late to the party, but I have arrived to the party. I'm here to party. This is another hype party situation that kind of terrifies me. I don't want to be the oddball in the room, but oddball I might be, but this is one that I feel like I'm going to like. Let me just tell you what the book is, and then I'll explain why I think I'll like it. The book in question is Legends and Lattes. I feel like I'll be one of the last humans on Earth to read this book. I've been wanting to hop on the cozy fantasy train for a while now, not just because it's like super popular, but I feel like it's a genre that I myself will really love. I feel like for a while I've been craving books in a fantasy setting that are just like very chill, don't have like a war aspect, don't have some like massive battle, some like big bad villain, just like very chill vibes. And I feel like that's what I'm getting with this one. I don't know like the full extent of what goes on in here. We are following an orc who is ready to put down her sword and open up a coffee shop. She wants to live a chill life after having lived a very chaotic life. And I believe we just follow her and all of the encounters she have with all the travelers that come in and out of the coffee shop and learning about their lives and connecting with them. That's what I've gathered so far, but I feel like there might be a more overarching storyline. I just don't know that storyline yet. There's just something about this book that just like radiates good vibes. Like every time I see it, I just get a warm feeling inside. There's just something about it that stands out to me that I just have this good feeling about. And I feel like by now, this is one of those books where I could get tired of seeing. Like, it was very hyped. It's still very hyped. A sequel or prequel just came out, something like that. And so like the hype has kind of resurged. But it's one of those things where like, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at seeing this book getting lots of hype. Even though I haven't read it, I just have a good feeling about it. Like every time I see it, I don't get the ick. I don't get like the, ugh, this book is oversaturated. Too many people are talking about this book. I get this feeling of like, I'm excited to read that book one day. I feel like that book just has very cozy, warm vibes, and I feel like it's going to be fantastic. So I hope that that's the situation here. I hope that I end up in this love pool for this book. Only time will tell. I hope to read it soon, and we'll see how I end up feeling about it. These are the 5 books that I am planning to get to before the end of the year. Hoping to get to them before the end of the year, but if I don't get to them, then we don't talk about this video. We don't talk about this list. It didn't happen. It doesn't exist. You have no proof. You do in fact have a whole video receipt. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys have read any of these books and which one you think I should prioritize first. But also let me know down below in the comments 5 books that you plan on reading before the end of the year. Or 10 books if you're an overachiever unlike me. Again, thank you to Bookfinity for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to go and take the quiz. I have linked down below in the description. It helps me out a lot. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, y'all!